Hey guys, how's it going? So I've gotten a lot of comments about. I have my phone obviously mounted, but when I was, I typically just drive and just talk about stuff, and I I appreciate it. I think people have been concerned about me doing that. So I do a lot of recordings, and I will continue to do them when I'm in my car, but I'm going to do them when I'm parked, or I'll do them here in my office. So hopefully that makes people feel better. I guess the thing I was going to talk about is truth. Um, as we've been looking at a lot of the prayer requests that have been coming in and just people talking about what they're struggling with, and especially relates to, when you have a mood disorder, is that when you're in a really bad place, it can amplify and exacerbate the situation of how, in some cases, how good it is if you're way up on a high, or how bad it is when you're really on a low. And I think it's really difficult to be self-aware when you're in that place where things seem like it's the end of the world and the world's crashing down on you, and it can really drive you down even further. I've talked a lot about what I believe is the spiritual side of it, as far as just the enemy bringing you down and stuff. But I think just from a chemical perspective, I mean, it's happening, and I think it's really important. In addition to the tools and stuff that I've posted on my website, jasonpeterson.com, is you're in a spot where you have to make a choice. And we have to make a choice of what we're going to believe. And this is a lot easier said than done. Because trust me, I struggle with it too. But whatever our weaknesses, and I think that's ultimately where we're going to be the most vulnerable. Those triggers, I talked about identifying your triggers, is you have to make a decision if you're going to believe in those, the untruthful lies about how you're impacted in those areas or not. And I think this is where seeking truth is so important, because, if you don't, I think it pulls you down even further, and you get stuck in the place that you're at, in the pit of despair or whatever it may be, or in this anxious cycle, discomfort, whatever you may be experiencing. So that, again, whether it's prayer that helps you, just having a list of things that you're always mindful on your cell phone that cause you issues, we have to kind of practice some self-talk to be like, okay, take a breath. I know that's not true. I know I feel this way. I understand this is happening. It's real, but there are lies associated with this. So I guess that's my thought for the day, is just focus on truth. And I think in that list of triggers that I've had, encourage you guys to write down so you know what causes your issues. I think you need to also make statements about what is true. So when you're in a really bad place, you're able to be somewhat objective, or you allow yourself to have a cheat sheet when you know that you're in a really bad spot. Some of those situations, whether it's relationships or jobs or family, or there's going to be stuff there that's there and it's not going to go away. But I think we always still have a choice in terms of how we're going to respond to those situations and how we're going to do them. And in some cases, we just give it up to God. I mean, I think there's some of that where the truth is, hey, if you can't control it and you're doing everything you can, then you just give it up to God and you pray about it and you do the best you can of just not letting it eat you alive. Again, easier said than done. But try to focus on those things that really are true. Write those down. Put it in your cell phone. Write down the things that cause you the most pain and that cause you the most discomfort when it relates to your mood disorder. And just check on those, This group is becoming more and more of a place that I've prayerfully wanted, and that is that people can help each other and people can reach out when they're struggling. We've already had a video that I did praying for an individual. As I learn more and more about where you guys are at, I want to continue to cycle those things through. And so if you're struggling with truth, by all means, reach out. We're going to try to do a prayer post every day, every other day, And whatever you're struggling with, we're here to help. But you still have to take responsibility yourself for what's going on. And that's hard. But you got to do it. And if you don't, the vicious cycle of the negativity and just the garbage that gets thrown at you, it's just going to be amplified. It's only get bigger and bigger, and that monster is going to be so intimidating. You're just going to think you never can fight it. And the reality is that the beast is not that big. It's never going to be as big as we think it is. It only becomes that big when we fuel it with our fear. So I think that's maybe the other part of the truth, is to not be afraid. Is that I encourage you, and I pray that you guys will not be afraid when you are frightened and scared and unhappy and hurt and vulnerable. Have the courage, step up. Whoever you are, let us know. Send me a message, post on the wall, post in our comments. We're here, and it's a safe place, and I will continue to help make sure that it's safe no matter what. If anybody breaches any of those very basic guidelines of respect toward each other, they're gone. So this is a place where I want to make sure everybody's welcome at the table, and that you can always talk about things that you struggle with. And ultimately, for today, focus on those truths, put them in your cell phone, write them down, think about the things that cause you the most discomfort, and try to make sure that when you are struggling that you can refer to those, so that it helps you perhaps get out of that nasty spot. Maybe it doesn't last quite as long. So that's all I got. God bless.